Okay, so I'm still in the middle of redoing my website, but I wanted to make a quick video to talk about slash show a version of a tool that I decided to make yesterday because it's one of the most obnoxious things about lambing season, which is not an obnoxious season other than the sleep deprivation and the scheduling. Anyway, I wanted to make a tool that could help simplify the scheduling a little bit. So my basic thinking is I have a lot of different activities that I need to do, like knowing when to start really carefully watching for lambs to show up. There's like an earliest date, there's a latest date, and then there's a most likely or due date. But then I need to do like a series of vaccinations for the ewes before they lamb, and the timing of that depends on whether it's their first time lambing or not their first time lambing. And then the lambs have to do a series of vaccinations after they're born, and then you might be doing other vaccinations, or you might be docking or castrating. Anyway, but all of those things are just dependent on one date, which is the breeding date. And my rams wear marking harnesses, and then we log when butts change colors, and that means that the ewes were bred. So, anyway, I wanted a tool that would make this scheduling activity that's actually quite complicated a little bit simpler for me. So, I went ahead and made this yesterday, and I feel like other kind of smaller scale shepherds who keep specific breeding dates for their sheep might also want something like this, but not have the money to have like a giant EID system, which it doesn't make sense for me to have that, despite the fact that I like tools. Anyway, so you can either come in here and type in individual use names and tag numbers, or just one or the other, and put in the breeding date. You can put in the ram, put in whether it's a maiden or not a maiden, like a first time lammer, because then they're going to get 2 rounds of CDT before they lamb, ideally, and the predicted number of lambs, because that's also going to matter for the forecasting of how many different vials of the different vaccines you're going to need. So, typically in my flock, it's pretty common for first time lammers to have a single, and then after that, they almost always tend to twin. So, for me, that made sense. And you could add each individual ewe like that, or you can go ahead and just upload a CSV file. I describe on the site what that CSV file needs to look like, but here's mine for this year. You just need a column for ewe names, a column for breeding dates, a column for rams. You don't have to have these last 3 columns if you don't want to, or if they're not important for you. But I wanted to keep track of rams. I wanted to keep track of whether they're a maiden or not. And then I wanted to know, again, number of lambs, because that helps me to forecast how many vials of each different vaccine it is that I'm going to need. Okay, so back to this version of the tool that I have running on my little in progress website right now. We can upload this CSV. It says it did it successfully. I'm going to click OK. I just want all of these. If all I wanted was lambing dates, I could get just lambing dates, but I want everything. The entire point of this was that I wanted everything. My flock is still small enough that I'm almost always buying 10-dose vial sizes because yeah, it's not a huge flock, and no matter how much I try using everything except for the things that you could use to actually make everyone sync up, they're not all synced up. So everyone's spaced out. I'm buying in 10-dose vials, but you could change this to 50 if your flock was big enough that that it made sense to use 50-dose vials. Anyway, then I hit this little generate schedule button, and it gives me a schedule by date. I have it coded so that it's only going to give me one date per week. I could go in and, obviously, if the 23rd isn't a good day for me, do it on the 27th. But yeah, then it gives me by entity, so I can look at each sheep here and see okay, 287 is going to need CDT on this date. I can scoot over here and I can look by activity. And here it's only giving me the tag numbers, the thing before the dash, just for conciseness. But again, I could say all right, it's the 23rd of February. I need to give CDT shots, and I need to give those to all of these ladies right here. It also gives me like the total number of activities, which, once we get deeper into lambing season, I will have more activities that I need to do on a given day. And then it will also help me to predict the number of vials that I will need to open at any given time, because those vials tend to be like use it or lose it situations. Like if you open one, you got to use it then and then kind of be done with it. So anyway, that's that. And if anyone has any suggestions or thoughts, I could, it's going to be pretty bare bones, but I could tweak things slightly, and I thought other people might appreciate. That's it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.